again, welcome back to the Fire Burns Within channel. I've decided to do this video. I'm going to talk about films. I'm not going to talk about music. I'm quite a film buff. I like watching films. I know movie theatres have been closed for quite a long while during the pandemic, but we can still watch films online, so that's good. I'm just going to talk about a whole load of films I've watched in 2021. These are all newish films. Some of them are from late 2020. So I'll watch those. I'm going to just quickly talk about them. I'm going to give a rating. I'm not going to talk long. I'm just going to go through them all. Just talk about films that I've watched in 2021. Some of them were very late 2020 watches. And then when the cinemas were just about still open, late 2020, some of them I saw at the pictures. The 2021 films are all seen online. So anyway, let's just quickly get on with this. First film is Tenet. Everyone knows this film. It was released towards the end of 2020, I think. I saw it in the pictures. I've only seen it once. I really do need to see it again. It's a mind-bending film. I mean, I can never pretend that I know exactly what's going on. I mean, it's just a mind-bending film. It's good though, it's good. So I gave that 8.5 out of 10. Next film I saw was another late 2020. It's called Greenland. It's sort of like a natural disaster, end of the world type film with Gerard Butler, the Scottish guy. I quite enjoyed this one. It's you know, it's good. It does what you'd want to do. It's not like anything out of the ordinary, but it's just a good film. 7.5 out of 10. Next one is another late 2020. It's called Honest Thief. I actually saw this in the theatres. This is a Liam Neeson film. He's taking paychecks as usual. Liam, he likes to do 3 or 4 films a year. I quite enjoyed this one. It's a typical Liam Neeson type film. He plays a thief that sort of turns good, if you like, you know, hence the title Honest Thief. I'm not going to go in depth. Just say I watched it and I quite enjoyed it. 7.5 out of 10. Next film I also saw in the theatres. It's called Unhinged. It's a Russell Crowe film. This is a mental film. I mean, Russell Crowe is perfect in this film. He's absolutely perfect. He's a complete lunatic psycho. I quite enjoyed this. 8 out of 10 for this one. The next film I saw in the pictures. This is the last film I've seen in the actual pictures in the movie theatres. And this was The Gentleman, the Guy Ritchie film, the gangster film. I love this film. I thought this film was awesome. I mean, Hugh Grant's character is awesome. Every character is awesome. I just love this film. I mean, I do like Guy Ritchie's gangster films. Not like all of them to, you know, to a very high degree. But I just like the way his style is, and they're good. Although he's hit and miss as well. But The Gentleman, it's killer. 9 out of 10. I love The Gentleman. Next one is called Ava. I saw this one online. Saw this in early 2020. It's like a female undercover agent who is sort of, you know, she becomes the hunted, and it's you know, it's typical stuff. But I enjoyed watching this one. 8 out of 10. Next one is Escape from Pretoria. This is a true story about a prison escape from Pretoria jail. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a bit weak. It's not great, but it's not bad. 6.5 out of 10. Next one I saw online is called Tesla. This was released in 2020 as well. It's about the story of the quest for electricity and to invent power and so on, and obviously it's to do with Nikola Tesla. I quite enjoyed this. This is a good story, good retelling, if you like. Although I think some people were not happy with how the story was told, but I quite enjoyed it. 7.5 out of 10. Okay, the next 13 films are all films I've seen in 2021. They're 2021 films. They're released this year, and I saw them all online. I haven't been to the pictures since the cinema opened back, but you can watch these online. First one, these are not in any order, so they're not like January, but I mean, they're vaguely, the later ones are more near, I guess. I don't know, but they're not in any order. First one is The Marksman. Liam Neeson, my old friend. He's sort of like helping a kid who's an illegal asylum seeker, sort of like something like that. He's sort of like a border guard who he's on his last day or something like that, if I remember correct, and he sort of helps this kid and the mum dies, and he helps this kid to escape from Mexican drug lords, drug barons. It's usual stuff. He's like very good at shooting, hence the title, The Marksman. So it was okay, but it was weak. 6 out of 10. Next film is called Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk. I don't know this guy at all. Apparently he's in some TV series in the States. I can't even remember the name. Something Saul, or I can't remember anyway. This was quite good. I mean, this is quite fun. If you like fights, this is a good film. You know, it's an unassuming, normal-looking guy who sort of turns out to be some kind of undercover fighting assassin who can handle himself in a fight. You know, he's again caught up with drug overlords. He's a bit over his head, but he's also just a fighting machine. I mean, if you enjoy fisticuffs, this film is for you. You know, the fight scenes are very well filmed, and the sound effects are like really crunchy, and you feel every punch like as if you're taking the punch yourself. It feels really sort of powerful in that sense. I quite like this film. It's really well set up for a Nobody Part 2 or a sequel as well. So hopefully there will be one. 7.5 out of 10. The next film I saw is called The Little Things. This is sort of like a typical crime police drama. Always good watching Denzel Washington. Rami Malek, he plays the main character. He sort of fails to convince me as the main cop guy. He's sort of, I don't know, I wasn't happy with him doing that Queen film either. I don't know. He got a lot of rave reviews for that. I think he won the Oscar for that. But yeah, he's okay in this film, but the film itself is good, but it's not as good as... I mean, it reminds me of Seven, the film with Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey. It's sort of along the same lines, but just not as good. 7.5 out of 10, but it's okay, you know. It's a decent watch. Next one is a horror film I saw called Wrong Turn. I'm not a horror fan, but I don't know, I just watched this one for the hell of it. I just fancied a few scares or whatever, you know, just watching it. This was okay. You know, I haven't seen the original, so I don't know. You know, I quite root for the heroine in this, the girl actress, the girl lady, or I don't know who she is, but I quite root for her. She's quite feisty. She's quite a kick-ass chick, so she's pretty cool to watch. You know, there's some grim parts, you know, really grim horrific parts, but I don't know, this wasn't terrible. It's okay. Around 5.5 out of 10, maybe 6 if you're a real horror nut. Next film, one I saw fairly recently. It's called Wrath of Man, and this is a Jason Statham film. But I didn't realise that this is the next Guy Ritchie film that he directed after The Gentleman. I had no clue until I started watching it, and he said a film by Guy Ritchie. So I thought, oh, this is good. So I was just thinking it's a Jason Statham film or whoever does his ones, but it turns out to be a Guy Ritchie film. Yeah, this is a slightly disappointing follow-up to The Gentleman. I already talked about The Gentleman, which I love, but this one is slightly disappointing. It didn't really do a lot for me. I mean, it's got good scenes, it's got action. Statham is his typical self, you know, he's very monosyllabic, his accent's a bit funny, you know. You can tell he's sort of, I don't know, he just talks funny, you know how he talks in his films. It's not bad, you know, it's fun, but it's not as good as I was hoping. It doesn't have the quality and the humour of The Gentleman. So 6.5 out of 10. Next film is Girl in the Basement. Judd Nelson, I can't remember what he was in, but I know his face. He's quite a famous old actor. It's based on a true story. You know, typical nutter guy locks up his own daughter in the basement and makes her pregnant multiple times. It's a freaky tale. I mean, you know, you've heard this story, and then you know, at the end, obviously, you know, they escape or whatever. I mean, I watched this film all the way, but it wasn't great at all. 4 out of 10. Next film I saw is called The Virtuoso. Anthony Hopkins and some other dude who plays a hitman, and Anthony Hopkins is like sort of like a Godfather hitman, if you like. And then it's a story of a hitman who becomes the hunted, but he doesn't know who's doing the hunting. Acting is okay, but this film has like a sort of voiceover thing going on it, so it doesn't sound that great. I mean, it doesn't, sort of sounds a bit odd with the voiceover thing going on, but it's not terrible, but it's not great either. So just a 5 out of 10 for that. Next film I saw is called Insight. This is a super cheaply made martial art flick. I sort of read the blurb and sort of got enticed into watching it a bit, but then as I was watching it, I watched it to the end, but it got worse and worse. The fight scenes are not good. The acting is not good. It's just not good. 3 out of 10. Next film I saw is one I saw fairly recently. It's called The Woman in the Window. This is sort of like a ghostly thriller with pretty good acting in it. Some good, fairly famous people in it. Amy Adams, I think she's the title actress. You know, the end of it was a bit weak. I didn't like the end, sort of, I don't know, been a bit Scream, but there's some good twists and turns in this one. So I quite enjoyed it overall. 7.5 out of 10. Next one is called Women. I saw quite a long time ago now, a few months ago. This is a lo-fi cheap chiller, if you like. It's not horror, but sort of ghostly. Can't even remember much about it. The girl in it is quite nice to look at, but that's about it. 4 out of 10. Next film I saw is called Oxygen, which I saw just last week. This was quite good. I don't know the actress who's in it, Melanie Laurent. It's about a woman who's stuck in this pod and her oxygen is slowly running out. She doesn't know how she got there, but I don't want to give too much away. You can watch it, but she's about the only actress in it. There are other people in it, but no one else really speaks. Not that you see their face. There is a spoken person as well, which is the computer. But the film is really interesting. I really enjoyed it. Although some of it is a little bit whiny with the actress, but it's tense. I quite enjoyed this. It's like a claustrophobic sci-fi drama. It's pretty interesting. 7.5 out of 10. 2 more films to mention. One is called The Ice Road with my old mate Liam Neeson. Liam taking another paycheck. This one is about truckers driving on the very dangerous northern ice roads, which obviously are frozen, but he does it in April, so they're starting to melt, which is stupid, and then things go wrong, obviously. This is a dumb movie. I mean, I didn't like this one at all. This one was a big paycheck time for Liam. He took this one. The other actors are not good in this, or even Liam, he phones this one in. Didn't like this one at all. 4 out of 10. And the last film I want to talk about in this film update, my first ever film update, is a film called Tides. This is a futuristic and bleak sci-fi film about sort of humanity coming to leaving Earth and then coming to Earth and then finding things are very difficult and so on. It's something like Waterworld, which sucked heavily, as everyone knows. But this is sort of more grim and more ugly, and I don't know. This was okay. I was hoping for more from this, but it was okay overall. It's like a bleak, dark sci-fi drama. Yeah, it's cheap. It's sort of, the actors and actresses are not well known, so it's a bit cheaper. The make, but it's quite a grim, story, and if you like futuristic stuff as well, it's worth a watch maybe. Okay, so that's it. I've got loads of films to watch. I've still got I've got so many films lined up to watch here. I'll read some of them out. These are all 2021 films. Lockdown 2025, Ripper Untold, Assault on VA 33, Norman, Locked In, Those Who Wish Me Dead, Ascendant, Rage, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, Black Widow, Judas and the Black Messiah, Shadow and Bone, Voyages, A Quiet Place Part 2, Infinite, The Birthday Cake, Pig, Jungle Cruise, No Sudden Move, Settlers, Midnight in the Switchgrass. Yeah, I've got all these to watch. Okay, this is a little film roundup. I know this video has gone too long and it's probably going to get about 3 views, but what the hell, just felt like talking about films for a while, and I did. Okay, make sure to check some of these films out if you can, or if you have already, let me know what you think about these films. And do you watch films? Do you like to watch films? Are you a film buff, etc.? Okay.